Hello and welcome, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Welcome to your week ahead TarotScopes with me, Intuitive Rene. We are doing the week of the 10th to the 16th of April 2023 using these amazing decks that I have on the table here in front of me. Changing things up a little bit this week, as always. Just when you think you've got a handle on how Rene does things, she comes along and changes it up. So this week I was drawn to do an oracle-based reading, and then of course can't have a reading without tarot. So I have managed to introduce or to attach some tarot to it as well. But we're going to be working with three awesome oracle decks to sort of set the tone, to give the message, to help you understand whatever it is you need to for the week ahead. And then once we've worked with the three oracles, I will be bringing in the tarot. And the tarot that I'm working with this week is my tarot tiles. They are cute little stick figure characters drawn onto little plastic discs. So I'm going to put them out of the way for now because we're only going to work with them at the end. The three oracles that I have, let me take you through and show you which ones they are, starting with the first one over here, which comes from this awesome deck. It is the Shaman's Dream Oracle by Alberto and Colette. Such an awesome deck. And when I drew these off the shelf, when I chose the decks, I didn't understand the theme, but hopefully you'll see it as I take you through it. So we've got the Shaman's Dream Oracle. This deck over the middle, in the middle here, is the Earth Magic Oracle cards by Stephen Farmer. Again, the artwork is just so exquisite, and the little messages that come from this, absolutely powerful. And then the final oracle that I'm working with is the Goddess Dream Oracle by Wendy Andrew down the bottom here. So it was only really when I had them laid out in front of me that I actually connected the dots to understand why we are working with these three. So we've got the Shaman's Dream. Now, a shaman is somebody of the earth. We've got Earth Magic, clearly of the earth. We've got Goddess Dream, which is a very grounding, a very soothing, a very nurturing deck of the earth. So there's a grounding element in the cards that I've chosen this week. And at this stage of now recording air signs, I have already recorded fire, I've already recorded earth, and let me tell you, phenomenal. Well, from my point of view anyway. I'm hoping yours is going to be just as phenomenal. They work so well together, even though they are completely different. The artwork is different, the style is different, but the messages coming together are just superb. So what we're going to do is I'm going to shuffle and draw a single card from each of these. I'm going to keep them face down, and it's only once I have the three oracles on the table that I will actually start the reading. So if you are the kind of person who doesn't really enjoy watching the shuffling process, you can actually fast forward until you see all three face up on the table, and then I will actually start with the reading. I'm going to blab and chat in the meantime while I'm shuffling, and then once I've read all three, I will then bring out the tarot and read from and add that to the mix as well. So let's move these out of the way and let's start with the Shaman's Dream. As I said, if you're not really somebody who wants to watch the shuffling, feel free to fast forward. I'm not going to do a lot of shuffling, I will be honest. So as I am shuffling, we are connecting with the energies of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. All the air signs, all the people who are good with the talking, good with the thinking, who are quick with the wit, the people who believe in connecting the dots and joining and combining and social and interactive. So we're connecting with each of you, asking for cards to come through that are going to be relevant, significant, appropriate, helpful, motivational, and inspirational for you for the week of the 10th to the 16th of April. So I'm happy with the shuffle of this deck. Let's cut and let's take one card. Let's do Earth Magic, same principle. Going to give a quick shuffle. Not going to do too much because they have been shuffled quite extensively already. So from Earth Magic, again connecting with Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, asking for a single card of inspiration, motivation, guidance, and assistance for the week of the 10th to the 16th of April. Oh, didn't want that one. Let's try that again. There we go, and right at the back. Only want one. Only want one. Right, let's put them there. And our last pile, short, a tiny little pile, small group of cards. And it's only because the card stock is quite a bit thinner that it looks like such a thin bunch, but I think it has the same amount of cards as all the others. It's just the card stock, the cardboard that differs. Right, let's cut and take. Okay, so let's turn them over and see the message for air signs for the week ahead, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, for the 10th to the 16th of April. So from the Shaman's Dream Oracle, we have got card 17, Eye of the Needle. Intentionality. Gosh, that's a big word. Oh my gosh. Intentionality, right? Let's have a look what we get from Earth Magic. Earth Magic gives us dance and celebration. Loving the same colors coming through. And now let's look at the Goddess Dream Oracle. We have card 29, self-exploration, fairy tales and myths. Okay, so quite interesting, because here we've got intentionality and here we've got fairies and myths, but we've got dance and celebration in the middle. They are very, even though this one's more green, but here we have the yellows and the oranges. Here we have yellows and oranges leaning towards a bit of greeny, and there we have the green. So it's almost like we're going from passion, fire, enthusiasm, you know, action, drive, ambition, all of that. We start blending and leveling out, and then we end up here back at the self. So it's quite interesting, the progression that I'm seeing here. What I'm hearing from Spirit, right, for Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, for all of you for the week ahead, when we talk about the eye of a needle. Now, if you have ever done any sewing, here is the needle, right? And there is the eye of the needle. And if you look through the eye of the needle is where you're seeing the eye. And if you've ever tried to thread a needle, oh my gosh, especially if you've got aging eyesight, it can be incredibly challenging. But what it is, it's about focus, okay? It's about not looking at the big picture. It's about honing yourself in and looking at that tiny, tiny, tiny little head, that like eye of the needle, to try and thread your needle through. So eye of the needle is saying to me, we need to switch off from all the external stimulation, even though there's a lot going on around. It's about letting go of all of that, and it's about honing ourselves. What are we honing into? Into celebrating and self-exploration. Celebrating life and self-exploration, because what's happening at the moment is you might actually be feeling quite overwhelmed right now with all this external stimulation. You know, there's a lot going on in the world, let's be honest. We're going through times at the moment of a lot of change. Energetically, we are shifting, we are progressing, we are evolving. So there's a lot happening externally around us, you know, emotionally, politically, physically, interactively. There's a lot of shifts taking place. And if you are trying to take it all on, if you're trying to hold on to it all and understand it all and comprehend it all and work with it all, oh my gosh, I'm just getting overwhelmed talking about it, thinking about it. So every now and again, we need to have laser focus, okay? Every now and again, we need to just stop the boat with everything else going on around us, and hone our focus into one thing at a time. And let's spend 5 solid minutes on one project, on one thing, on one aspect of ourselves. Let's celebrate that. Let's acknowledge that. Let's rejoice in that, so that we can actually learn to understand ourselves and our lives a little bit more. Okay, so to me, if you're trying to do everything, you're not going to succeed. You're just going to overwhelm yourself. We need to celebrate, because that's what I'm getting from this particular one, is every time you succeed in threading your needle, every time you succeed in threading your needle or repairing something that needs repairing in your life, because that's what we do with the needle and thread. We use it to repair, to mend, to create. But every time you hone your skills, hone your attention, set your intentions on what it is significant and important around you, celebrate that, acknowledge that, okay? Spend a moment, like you don't have to have a whole 3-day party, but spend a moment just in acknowledgement of what you've achieved, that you focused on something, you set your intentions, you worked with just that, you disconnected from the external stimuli, and you succeeded in whatever it is that you needed to succeed in. So it's about celebrating that, it's about acknowledging that, and it's about living your truth through that. Self-exploration. Now, it's quite interesting. I actually want to show you the artwork here. So we've got a full moon, and we've just had a full moon a couple of days ago, last week. So here we have this lady, and look at her with her badger. I don't know what the animal is, right? Because we don't have this animal in South Africa. So here she is with her animal, and she is lovingly embracing the animal. She is so intentional in her connection, celebrating, acknowledging the connection with this animal, while behind her We have got all sorts of other, now we have a little fox here, and we know that a fox is about conniving, sly, quick, unseeing, you know, not always being aware of, not always being an acknowledgement of, right? So we've got the fox here that's doing all sorts of things. And we have an owl of wisdom. So we've got the fox running that way. We've got the owl flying that way. But everything, so there's all sorts of things happening all around her, but she is remaining intent. She is remaining focused and celebrating the animal within, okay, her totem, if we can call it that. But it's about seeing herself in everything around her, if that makes sense, once she has set her focus. Okay, so this is something that you guys need to do for this week. It is about switching off from external stimuli that are not relevant, significant, valid, or appropriate in your life. It is about choosing what it is that you're focusing on this week, celebrating your successes and victories with that, but making sure that you are looking at it as a mirror around what is going on in your own life, self-exploration. So now what I'm going to do is bring out my little tarot. So there is a full tarot deck in this little bag. I'm going to draw one tarot card for each of these cards to see what it wants to add and contribute to the message. So let's do that. I'm going to shuffle. It may be a bit noisy. So we need one card for Eye of the Needle, right? And I'm taking that one over there. So for Eye of the Needle, there we go. Next one we've got for Dance Celebration. Just getting into all the corners. And I have a card there, so let's see which way it goes. And now for Self-Exploration, let's see what we get there. And there we have it. So I have a card for each one. Oh gosh, I am so terrible at aligning all these up. So the first one we have for Eye of the Needle, intentionality. Here we have the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is the card of stress and anxiety. It's the card of fear. It's the card of getting too caught up in your mind, overwhelm, okay? It's that anxious feeling of overwhelm. That is what this card signifies. And of course it makes sense because we're so, like, we're not focusing on one thing, we're focusing on everything. So there is that absolute overwhelm, that feeling of failure, of incompetence, of just not getting it right, not getting anything done, or just not achieving, which then makes us feel worse about ourselves, and there goes the spiral, right? So it is just a confirmation that I hit the nail on the head with that feeling of overwhelm and needing to tackle or to focus, to set the intention to one thing at a time. Here for Dance, the tarot card we have for Dance Celebration is the Ace of Swords, which is about new ideas, new thoughts, new guidance, new everything that's coming through around the mind. So it's about celebrating the overcoming the negative thoughts in the head. Celebrate and acknowledge that. And again, you don't have to physically dance, although I do encourage physical dance because it just gets the energies and the liquids and everything flowing through the body. But understand that you need to celebrate the ideas. You need to celebrate the concepts, the ideas that you have for new, for interesting, for all of that. Celebrate them within yourself. And then finally, self-exploration around fairy tales and myths, and seeing everything as a mirror of what it is you need to focus on. Here we have the tarot card of the Magician. So the Magician is about understanding that you have everything that you need to achieve everything that you desire. So it's about understanding the power that you have within yourself. And I think that is the most important thing. So if you take anything from this reading for the week of the 10th to the 16th of April, it is about understanding that you need to focus on one thing at a time. Celebrate what you've achieved, how you've achieved it, etc. But also understand that you are the only one that drives your reality. You get to choose what you focus on. You get to choose to look or to not see the things that are irrelevant and not significant in your life. But understand that you have the power in your own life to choose what it is that you target, focus on, and what it is that you succeed and achieve. It's all in your hands. So Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, looks like you're in for an interesting week. As long as you focus, as long as you acknowledge, you'll be okay. To put it in a nutshell, let's finish it off in one sentence. Thank you for being with me. As always, wishing you an amazing week ahead with love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care.